Hey everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about motivation, how to stay motivated. And then we've got a couple of cool announcements, all of them having related to you and what you've been asking for. So we've got some good things coming up. If you are in the US, I think we're really feeling that summer now. It feels so great. If you're outside of the US, you may be starting your summer holidays. Congratulations to all of you. And I'm so happy that you're here again. Stay tuned. We always have new information, but this week we've got some really cool things going on. It is the end of May. And if you're in the United States, we're celebrating Memorial Day today. Happy Memorial Day to all of my US listeners. It is the day where we remember those who have died in battle. So really gave the ultimate sacrifice to protect their country. We've got a really big country here in the US, and we've unfortunately been involved in many wars. But we've come out so far unscathed, and we continue to pray for peace in our world, which is a really important thing for all of us, whether your country is big or small. But for those of you who know anyone who has served in the war, served in the US war, thank you. Or you yourself have served, thank you for your service, and for your family members who have served. My own father served in World War II, and he came back, obviously, because I'm here. He married my mother after he returned from World War II. And he was a tank driver and a private in World War II. And I have to say, I think that his dedication and service really rubbed off on me in many different ways that I never realized until I was an adult. And certainly, I have to say, didn't rub off on me completely until I had my own children. So we want to always pray for peace, but we also want to thank those who are sacrificing to give us, to maintain peace in our world. With that having said, today, as I said, we're going to be talking about motivation. We've got a lot of cool things to show you. Some of the things that we're going to talk about, you might have heard about before, but I think we've actually got some brand new tips, which is kind of fun. Some of the things that we're talking about today actually are kind of new ideas that I've been knocking around, and I think I hope you like them too. So we, as humans, I think we always want to change at least one thing in our lives. Just, it's part of the human condition. We just are pre-wired to feel a little bit dissatisfied, to feel like there's something new, there's something bigger, and it can be challenging to find the motivation to start. It helps to understand a little bit what motivation is, what it means to you, so you can find your own motivation and get started. We're talking a lot about this during the summer because summer tends to be that kind of easy breezy time, especially here. Weather gets good finally, and for those of you on school holidays, you just want to kick back, relax, and maybe not do anything. But I'm going to challenge you either during your vacation or maybe right afterwards that you're ready to get started. And I'm going to give you some great tips for motivation, and the prizes at the end, because we always give out prizes to our live listeners, are going to be just perfect for motivation. So first of all, we don't want to sit back and wait for opportunities to come to us. Of course, we want to get up and make them, but that takes a little bit of effort, and I think we're going to see how we can, I don't know, make some tracks on that. So let's first define motivation. So what is it? It's the drive to achieve our goals or our needs, but it's influenced by a couple of different things. I would say three key things. Number one is, how much do you want the goal? And then what will you gain? And what are your personal expectations? So sometimes we say we really want a goal, but we're not willing to take any steps to make that goal happen. So sometimes I want to step back from those goals and say to myself, you know what, maybe I don't really want it that much. I want a magic wand that's going to give me the goal, but I'm not willing to put in the work that it takes to get the goal, right? So then we want to think about, what can I gain? What would my life look like? Really envision it in full color. What would my life look like? What will I gain if I'm able to achieve this goal? And then the third thing is, what are my personal expectations? So what would my life look like? How can I fit that goal into my current life? And those are three really, I would say, really big, important things we have to think about when we're talking about goal setting and goal making. The other thing you want to consider when we're talking about motivation, it's really important because it provides us with, if we're going to work with our goals, we need motivation to do that. It's going to help us with problem solving. It's going to help us to change old habits, and it's going to help us to work and cope with challenges and opportunities. So when we pursue a goal, as I said, don't have the magic wand. You're going to have to take steps. You're going to have to break down that goal into manageable pieces, and you're going to have to stay motivated on each one of those levels. Now, some of you have been working in doTERRA or working with essential oils for a long, long time, and you may be thinking, yeah, I really need this. I need to hear this today because I need some motivation. And others of you may be just starting out and you're feeling super motivated as it is. That's terrific. Today, what we're going to do is we're going to give you some guideposts so that you can keep moving in the right direction. Because what is motivation all about? It's getting moving and staying moving, right? Just getting towards our target. So many of you know, talking about the war again, because we talked a little bit about Memorial Day, there's something called a heat-seeking missile. And basically what that missile does is when it's launched, it can be launched from the ground, from an airplane, whatever, or from a stationary location, it seeks out heat. And when it finds heat, that's when it knows to explode. It doesn't seek out cold things because cold things invariably are not what their targets are, but it may be looking for a factory or weapons or munitions of some sort. And so it's looking for its target and it keeps resetting itself until it reaches that target. I want you to be like a heat-seeking missile as you move towards your goals. The next thing we want to talk about a little bit is getting motivated, right? So you have this goal or you think up this goal and you think, wouldn't it be really good to achieve that thing? But how do we get motivated to do the goal, right? A lot of people struggle with motivation, but it's even more challenging if we have other issues that we need to deal with. So let's talk about motivation in regards to our current lifestyle, right? So we want to always pick goals that are going to match our current lifestyle. So I frequently use the example of a new mom. New mom has a brand new baby and they want to get started on, I don't know, going back to school and getting their master's degree. Maybe not the best fit right now. Now, if you're in the middle of a master's program and you have to finish and you just delivered your baby, somehow you muster the courage or the energy and hopefully you put steps in place even before you became pregnant to keep your motivation strong and to continue towards the achievement of your final goal. But if you're just starting out on a goal, you want to make sure that you're picking goals that are going to match your personal wishes and desires. So for a couple of tips, let's say, so we want to set goals that are specific, right? So we've talked about smarter goals on this channel. Specific goals, something that's achievable for you. So for me, I don't know, playing basketball for the NBA, not achievable. So not even, just cross that off my list. Never going to play. Sorry. Just the way it is. So we want to talk about smarter goals, things that are achievable for you. You want to think about how you can include that goal in your life, what you're going to do to make it happen. So when we talk about smarter goals, right, we're talking about specific and we're talking about things that we are motivated to do. And then we want to talk about a time frame, right? We want to talk about putting it within a setting of a time frame, not making it amorphous. I'm going to do this in the next whenever, but I'm going to do it in the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, whatever that is, and setting that specific time frame for yourself. Breaking the goal into small, easy tasks and giving yourself regular reminders. Many of you know that I use a full focus planner. So you can see this right here. This is not the way it comes. I've actually stuck stickers all over it. And if you can see, I've got my EO hotel from Penang. So for all of you who are from Malaysia, we've got to make ourselves motivated. For me, it's writing in a planner on a daily basis. And sometimes, honestly, don't feel like it. I don't want to do it, but I get up and I do it anyway. And I keep doing it. It's having those good habits. As I said, you want to break your goal into easy tasks and set regular reminders. You want to use family and friends or maybe colleagues as support and tell them about your goal and have them encourage you to help you to keep motivated. But I will say, you don't necessarily want to announce your goals to everyone everywhere. Why? Because there's some big naysayers out there. And what you don't need right as you start your goal is for someone to say to you, oh, that's stupid, or you can't do it, or you're not going to be able to get to that goal, or not possible for you. You want to keep your circle a little bit tighter. People that are going to encourage you, they're going to be with you. And when we pick accountability partners, or we pick people that we want to be in on our goal journey, we want to pick people that are with us. It could be completely outside of your circle. That's possible too. Maybe you want to join a professional organization or some sort of a motivating group, or you want to follow someone online and make sure that there's some sort of accountability there. But you're going to need someone who's kind of in your corner saying to you, you can do this, and this is a great thing for you to do. Get started. And someone perhaps who, if you get demotivated or you kind of think, oh man, what did I choose, is going to be the one who says, don't worry, you can do it, keep going. We want to keep on track, as I mentioned. A couple of ways we want to think about keeping track is using a diary, maybe using an app. As I said, I use a full focus planner. You want some positive self-talk. You don't want to be knocking yourself down right from the beginning. Managing feelings of discouragement, because honestly, as we pursue goals, there's always going to be something that kind of blocks us or jumps into our way and doesn't allow us to achieve our goal. Watch your self-talk in terms of your negatives, saying things to yourself. Sometimes we talk more harshly to ourselves than we would even talk to another person. Like, you're never going to be able to do this. I don't want to give you some negative self-talk, but let's give you some positives. You want to say to yourself, I can try this. I can do this. I have motivation. I have everything that I need. Now, I know that motivations and affirmations can be a little woo-woo, and you may be thinking, it doesn't resonate with me. Try reading some positive literature, things that people achieving their goals, maybe their biographies. If you've never read the biography of Walt Disney, he was a man who came from very modest circumstances and yet wound up building something that only he could envision. And I have to say, having read that biography, and I read it quite a while ago, it was so inspirational to me to listen to to read what it was he went through and how he envisioned it and how he didn't take no for an answer. Now, you may not love the Walt Disney Company now, but I will tell you, when the founder was working on it, he really took some interesting steps. Books like that are going to keep you motivated and help you to feel like, you know what, if he can do it, I can do it too. Or she, of course. And then you want to have a mindfulness mindset that keeps you relaxed and focused. Now, how are you doing that? Each and every day, I want to encourage you, of course, to use your essential oils. So I'm going to actually put it out in the chat today. I don't have a picture of this. What are some of the essential oils that you use when you're trying to stay relaxed and focused? Relaxed and focused. Give me a few in the chat. I'd love to hear them now. Things you might consider, and I'm going to wait a second for the chat to kind of catch up. Give me an essential oil that you use when you're trying to stay relaxed or focused. Oh, interesting. A couple of you are saying in tune. That's really cool. Anna says adaptive. Debbie says in tune. Ivy says in tune. Serenity, balance. Yeah, exactly. Adaptive or balance. I would even challenge you perhaps to use something that will make you feel brighter. I'm hearing Clary Calm, Bergamot and Vetiver, Breathe, Balance, Wild Orange, Past Tense. Yeah, those are all wonderful essential oils that are going to help you to stay motivated. Get them out, put them right next to your computer where you're going to be working. Make sure that that's the oil that you have in your diffuser for the day. It's so cool. The other day I was diffusing some oils and the bottle ran out. I had actually attached the bottle to one of these direct misters, and the bottle was dry. And I got up and I thought, what am I going to put in here? And I put adaptive on the right onto the diffuser. And within about 30 seconds, I could smell that wonderful kind of florally, citrusly smell of adaptive. And immediately my mood began to lift. I felt like, okay, I'm really ready to go and complete this task. What's interesting is I didn't even associate it necessarily with adaptive, not the word, but the smell itself was so evocative for me that I immediately felt ready, happy and ready to go. A couple of you are saying spearmint. Ferry says spearmint. Aroma Touch lavender, and Karen says she loves adaptive. I mean, really, what a wonderful system. I love the 3-part system. I use the capsules, I use the roll-on and the essential oil. I try to use them all together, but even when I'm using them separately, for me, they really do work. Okay, when we're talking about motivations, here's a couple of tips. You want to regularly review your goals and progress. So one of the things that I like about the Full Focus Planner is that right at the beginning, we've got our annual goals right here, and then we've got our goal detail. And you can see I've got my goal detail spelled out. I'm going to be updating this right now at the end of May for the beginning of June. I shift my calendar 1 month up, 1 month, 1 month forward, I guess it is, or 1 month back, I'm not even sure, so that my new quarter starts in June. And the reason I did that was because I really wanted September to the beginning of a new quarter for me, because in terms of dōTERRA, September is our new quarter. Now's the time for us to begin to make our plans to go to convention. So if you haven't gotten your tickets, here's your wake-up call to do that for yourself now, and to start getting your hotels and your flights, get ready to go. It's the end of May. You've got literally 2 months or 3 months, June, July, and August, if you're going to get there in September. And I know sometimes you've got to gather your resources, save your money, perhaps. All those things are super important. So we're going to stay. It's not impossible, it's actually possible. You want to continue to set new goals and think what you want to achieve maybe for the day, the week, the month, or the quarter. So one of the things that I always do is I set my big 3 for today. Now, sometimes it's an enormous task. I have a big 2 only. Doing this call is always on my Monday big 3, but other things might be on there, and they could be personal or professional. But if you've got some big tasks, you want to make sure that the daily tasks that you are putting on your list are going to help you to eat away and get to your weekly goals, your monthly goals, and so on. You want to keep your momentum up because it takes about 3 months to develop a new habit. Keeping the momentum and routine makes it feel more automatic over time. So if you're trying to establish an exercise routine or a healthy eating routine, or taking supplements, or using essential oils regularly, sometimes something like a countdown counter or a cross-off calendar can be very, very, very helpful. There is a countdown or a cross-off calendar right at the bottom of every page on the goal detail. They actually call it a streak tracker. Love that. So every day that you do the thing that you said that you were going to do, boom, boom, you're able to cross it off. And something about that action of actually crossing off or checking off can be very, I don't know, kind of gratifying. I did it. I actually started a new exercise routine, I want to say back in March. Part of it had to do with my crazy hip. I'm always talking about my crazy hip. Part of it had to do with my crazy hip. But I'm really beginning to see results now. When I first started, I actually thought to myself, this is kind of dumb. Why am I even doing this? These exercises don't seem to be working at all. They're too gentle. They should be harder. This should be more difficult, more painful. I don't know. And I was kind of disillusioned. I wanted something like, bam, right away. I don't know, a shot in the arm that was going to just change my hip right away. But it took time and patience. And now finally, I'm beginning to see some really big results. And that's so incredibly gratifying. I'm actually going back for checkup on tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow evening. And I think it's so good. So start, keep at it, and don't give up. You really will see the results. You want to also find some mentors. A mentor is someone who's going to maybe experience in the habit, and don't feel nervous about contacting someone perhaps who's gone through the road before and saying to them one-on-one, would it be possible for me to talk with you and find out what you did? Because I think sometimes they may have tips or tricks or ideas, something that worked for them that they're not talking about maybe on social media. And on a one-on-one conversation, they might be able to give you some direction that maybe something that you're struggling with. Reach out to mentors. They're always willing to talk. Obviously on their time, they have busy schedules just like you, but you want to make sure that you're reaching out to someone. Maybe it's your upline, maybe it's someone on another line, maybe it's an accountability partner right within your team, and asking them, what was it that you did? And you can use that tip for really anything. If you're a new mom, or you are a new business builder, or you're new to essential oils, you can absolutely use that mentoring technique in whatever area of your life where you think you might need it. The other thing is, last but not least, you want to surround yourself with positive people. I know that's not always possible, but there's a couple of things I want you to keep in mind. If you are the smartest person in the room all the time, you're probably in the wrong room. You need to seek out people that are smarter than you, that are more motivated than you, and honestly, people that are going to challenge you, challenge your ideas, challenge your beliefs. So seek out people that are a little smarter than you if you're always the smartest person in the room. So that's number one. Number two is you want to get around people that are going to tell you not only constructive criticism, but give you some positive motivation, encourage you on your path. So if you always have naysayers around you, and some of us have naysayers around us, or maybe you live with a naysayer, and that's okay too. You want to find people that are not always going to be naysayers for you. It can be a little bit tricky, it may take a little bit of trial and error, but finding that person who's going to motivate you. I find whenever I go to a dōTERRA meeting, there's always somebody there who's cheerful, who's motivated, who's done something before that I've never done. I meet leaders that are just, I don't know, amazing. One of the reasons I like to go to convention is I see people on stage, I meet people in the audience that are doing things differently than I'm doing it. And you know what? It's just so encouraging to me. And it's kind of that shot in the arm, excuse me, that I need to be able to say, you know what? I can do that too. The other thing I want to talk about is what happens if you lose your motivation. And sometimes it happens. We have a setback, something happens in our lives, someone gets sick, we're not able to complete our goal in the time frame that we wished, or maybe we even think, I have to give up this goal entirely. It happens. That's part of life. First of all, give yourself the grace to maybe mourn the goal, or just to say, it's okay, I can step back. Doesn't mean you step back from every goal, but we may have setbacks in our lives that we didn't expect. I'm going to help you here's a couple of tips that I have to help you find your motivation again. You want to review your goals, number one, and see if they're realistic. I mentioned what realistic goals are before. You may need to break your goal down a little bit further. Instead of thinking, I'm going to be able to just plunge straight through to the other side, maybe able to break it down into smaller bites, give myself a longer time frame. Instead of a week, maybe I need a month. Instead of a month, maybe I need 2 months or more. So breaking it down into smaller chunks. Remember again, refresh your own memory as to why you started the goal and why you wanted to reach for that goal in the first place, because you may have lost that memory. Sometimes I've heard of people who have had weight loss journeys, especially longer weight loss journeys, where sometimes it's difficult to stay motivated until the very end. And they get somewhere in the middle and they kind of, I don't know if I want to keep going, or I'm not where I want to be. Maybe taking out some of those old pictures, taking a look at where you were before, remembering where you started, maybe when your team was tiny, maybe when you had no team, maybe when you didn't even know about essential oils. All of those things, reflecting on the past and recognizing the progress that you made, can actually help us to stay motivated on the goal. You can also feel inspired by doing things like reading a book, talking to your mentor or friends or colleagues that have reached similar goals that you have. I know there's always somebody on my team who'll say, don't worry, you can do it, keep going. And also I have a couple of friends that are more realistic, that'll say, okay, maybe you want to slow down or pull back or try this other route and help me to go in maybe a more S type of curve instead of the straight line, which sometimes we hope that we can do. Life is more of an S-shaped curve than a straight line. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, that's exactly the information that I needed, give me a yes or give me just a Y in the chat. I'd love to hear it. Sometimes you just need to take a break and start fresh, as long as you're not taking a permanent break, right? Life doesn't give us permanent breaks. The only permanent break that we have is at the very end of our life. And we don't want to think about that every day, but sometimes we need a little bit of a thing that says, yeah, okay, we got to keep moving here. We got to keep going. Okay, we're going to turn I can't into I can. Now, we talk about motivation. Obviously, we want to talk about some of the emotional aromatherapy oils, some of the roll-ons, and some of the 5 milliliter bottles. I love the touch from the emotional aromatherapy kit, and I use them constantly. They are just in my everyday environment. They're in my bathrooms, they're in my kitchen. Whenever I think of, something that I want to do or something I want to start, when I start my workday, my motivation, my peace at night, those are oils that I'm just picking up and I'm using on a regular basis. If you like the motivation, the emotional aromatherapy oils, you can think of diffusing them by using the 5 milliliter bottles, or you can use the touch roll-ons. But either way, you're adding that set of oils, that group, if you will, into your daily rotation. And sometimes that's all we need. Now, adaptive, I noticed that when I asked about oils that you use for keeping motivated, I didn't really hear about the emotional aromatherapy oils. Let me know in the chat if you're using them. Give me a Y if you're using them. Give me an N if no, not really. And if you have a favorite, type what the favorite is from the emotional aromatherapy kit. Tell me what your favorite oil is from that kit. I think my favorite, I want to say in the morning, it's probably Motivate. And I want to say maybe in the evening, it's Peace. Although I have to say, I love Forgive. Forgive is a wonderful oil. And there's a lot of chemistry in Forgive that makes it specifically much more effective for us. So when we talk about positive motivations, we want to talk about things that are going to keep us on track. Talking to yourself about how finishing an assignment means I'm only a step away from, I don't know, getting qualified, graduating, getting ready to do the next thing. Negative motivations can focus on sort of backlash that will happen to us if we don't finish it. This is sometimes a good one for students, right? If you've got any students in your life, if I do this, I'm going to get this big prize, or I'm going to be able to graduate and get my degree. And if it's a negative, well, what's going to be happening to me? Both can be effective in different circumstances. It's much easier, I think, to do something because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, or you're gonna, that's the idea of, right, the carrot and the stick. But turning I can't into I can be the first step in keeping us motivated. Remember, you're much more likely to complete goals that interest you, and you're more likely to stay motivated if you're working towards something that you genuinely want to do or achieve, rather than something that just everybody wants me to do this, so I'm going to do it, right? Never going to work. You've got to have some sort of skin in the game, if you will, some intrinsic need or desire to complete that goal. If you must be motivated to do something that doesn't interest you, again, I'm going to go back to our students. I know there are certain students who don't love studying English, or they don't love maths, but they have to take those classes and complete them and get decent grades in them to be able to graduate. Maybe you want to do something that's going to kind of try something within the task that motivates you. For example, maths are challenging to me, but it's going to help me because I want to be a dōTERRA business builder. And if I know a little bit more about maths, then I'm going to be able to take on this task of building my own business, building my own team. I don't really want to know about how to make videos, but it's going to be a way of communicating with my team. Or I don't love Zoom, but it's a way of talking live to people that I can't see otherwise. So take whatever it is out of that group, and maybe a little tiny thing out of the goal that you must complete, and then make that your motivation. So a lot of you are saying that you like Motivate. A few of you, Maria actually says that she likes Neroli of the roll-ons. Teresa says she loves Cheer, that's her favorite, and Forgive is a close second. And Anna says she loves Motivate. So a lot of you like Motivate. Okay, remember to use rewards. This is a big one. People tend not to give themselves a reward at the end of the goal. Not good, folks. You got to give yourself a reward. Some people will say something like, oh, well, completing the goal is reward enough. No, it's not. Okay, now, if you want to set a reward, you have to set something either fun or interesting, or maybe a little bit luxurious just for you. So let's say you achieve a goal of, I don't know, getting to the next rank at dōTERRA. What do? You don't say to yourself, oh, achieving the rank is enough. No, take yourself out to dinner, maybe buy yourself something new, go out to celebrate someplace with family or friends. Make sure that the goal becomes memorable, and even the reward becomes memorable. Long time ago, actually, when I had my kids, When I was pregnant with my daughter, I was on bed rest for a long time. And afterwards I had put on a lot of weight, and I went through a whole process of losing weight to try to get back to my normal pounds. And when I finally did, I really wanted a new watch. And my husband, I remember, said to me, "You want a watch for losing weight? It doesn't seem to make sense." But it did make sense, because it meant that every time I picked up that watch, I would say, "I did it. I did it. I did it." And it was really a motivator. I still have the watch. I'm using a different watch right now today, so I don't have it on. I can't show it to you. But just that idea of having something that I had done. And I've done that each and every time if I've achieved a big goal, whether it was achieving a new rank or doing something in my studies, just making sure that it was, I don't know, noted somewhere in the big book for me, that I did this thing. We went out and we celebrated. We had a big dinner. It's just like having a big birthday celebration or anything else. It's marking down those milestones that are important for you. And if you've achieved your goal and you turned your idea into a reality, it's time for you to celebrate. So maybe put your reward at the end of your goal. So write up your goal and then put your idea at the end of the goal. So now I'm going to ask you, if you would, please give yourself, tell me, how would you reward yourself? I'm not going to ask you for your goal. I'm going to ask yourself, how will you reward yourself when you achieve your goal? I'm going to give you 30 seconds, but I really want to hear, what are some of the rewards that you'll give yourself? Because really, if you believe you can, you're about halfway there. And when you have a dream, you've got to grab it and never let it go. Whatever it is that you're going through, there's a light at the end of the tunnel and you can stay motivated. Okay, so I'm waiting about 10 more seconds. I want to see, what are some of the things? Oh, someone says a yummy slice of my favorite cake. I love that, Anna. That's delicious. What a great thing. What's your reward? And like I said, your reward can be something that's meaningful to you or something that you're going to want to do at the end. So you could take yourself somewhere. Maybe you want to go to a concert. I actually went to a concert on Friday night for the first time. It was so fun. For those of you who don't know, there's a big outdoor amphitheater here. It's called the PNC Bank Arts Center. And it's kind of a semicircle. And they have a sort of partially covered roof where they have seats, and then they also have a lawn area. My husband and I got seats, and we saw a country music concert, and it was really fun, really fun. And it was threatening to rain all night, but it didn't. It actually rained only when we were in dinner, and then when we got to the concert, it just held all night. And then we drove all the way home, and it didn't rain even a single drop. And then when we pulled into our driveway, it's about an hour away from my house, it started pouring, thundering, and lightning. And I was like, oh, thank you, Lord. It was a great, great night. That was a reward for something that I personally have been working on. But it's also important, if you've got people in your life that you really care about, that you make time to do fun things with them. And the concert for me was really fun. So GT says a staycation. These are some of the rewards that we're talking about. I've got a couple people saying staycations. Maria says shopping. Thavamani says a new book. Angie says go on a cruise. Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing. And Karen says going to musicals. Yes, all of those are great. Take yourself to the theater, take yourself to a museum, something that a new book, whatever it is you feel. Maybe if it's a weight loss goal, maybe it's a new piece of clothing that you couldn't fit into before. All of those things are wonderful rewards for you, but make sure you've got them down. So you're seeing your goal and you're seeing the reward. This is the reward I'm going to give myself at the end of this goal. So apropos of good, big goals, we've actually got a big announcement. This is something that I've been working on for the longest time, and I know we had kind of dipped into it before. We are coming out with a brand new website. And I know that for many of you, brand new website, okay, what is she talking about? I've had a website for quite a while. It's a way for all of us to connect, for me to send information out to you. I also, very often, the links to our YouTube channel are posted there. If you've never been there before, it's called elenayordan.com, and it's going to be revamped sometime in the next few weeks. It looks a little bit like this, so you can see we've got a whole new look going on. We're going to have our blog post there, any sort of YouTube links. So it's really our new home, if you will, not just mine, but yours as well. And I hope you feel really comfortable going there. We're going to be giving away some goodies as soon as it's launched. Stay tuned on our Instagram and Facebook pages for the actual launch date. But I just wanted you to know that I'm always working towards new goals, and I hope you are too. It's been wonderful talking to you all today. Please take a moment to follow if you haven't already done. Oh, there we go. big announcements. I forgot to change the thing. Here's the new website. No wonder you didn't react at all. Just totally new look, a little bit more fresh and clean, and just more natural, what we're going for, and more soothing, just a new step in our development. And I think that's a really good way to go. I want to encourage you to follow and subscribe. If you haven't taken a moment, please click below and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Always coming out with new content. Today was kind of a different, and thank you, Anna. Thank you for those claps. I really appreciate that. We've been working really hard at this, and just, it feels good to have completed it. Remember, you are amazing, and I'm here because of you. I want to make sure that I'm able to continue to motivate you and to help you to feel like you're in the right place, and to just be an ear and an eye for the future for all of you. Some of you are reaching out to me to do collaborations on social media. I'm so happy to do that. I want to give a special shout out to Therapy Works from Instagram, who has been contacting me and saying, hey, can you do a collab? And I love the fact that she's challenging me to be bigger and brighter. And I just love that. If any of you are interested in the collaboration, please let me know. We can put something together whenever you're interested. Thank you for having been here, and have an amazing, wonderful week. Today we're going to be giving away a kind of a cool prize, because it is the end, as I said, the end of May. And tomorrow is actually month end, which is kind of interesting for those of you who are finishing your month, got a lot to do. I don't know, in the next day or say, I'm going to take a quick trip this week. I'm going to head down to Texas for a couple of days. I'm going to help my son set up his apartment, and then I will be back. But I will be here, as always. I'll be here next week on Monday, and we'll be talking more about, we'll be announcing all of our June topics on all of our social media groups. So stay tuned for a list of new topics coming up. So for those of you who are on the live, please stay on. For those of you who are listening on a recording, I hope this was valuable to you. I'm so happy you are, so happy you're with us. And thank you so much for returning. Have a wonderful week. Have a happy Memorial Day. If you're on school break, go at it. Have a great old time. And we'll see you back here again real soon. Bye-bye now.